Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you watch my previous videos, you'll know I shared my minimalist travel journal setup for my trips to Hanoi, Vietnam and Japan. Today, I'm back with an honest reflection. Did that minimal kit actually work? What supplies did I use a lot and what ended up just taking up space? If you missed the setup videos, I'll put the link in the description box so you can watch that first. But in this video, I'm sharing the pros and cons of my travel journal system and hopefully some takeaways if you're planning your own journaling kit for your next trip. These are the journals I've brought with me during my travels. I usually stick to the Traveler's Notebook passport size inserts by the Traveler's Company, or a Muji passport size notebook, or sometimes a pocket size notebook like the Moleskine Pocket Kahir journals. The way I organize them is pretty simple. I like to group international trips together in one notebook and local trips together in another. And something I always set up at the very beginning is an index page. On the index, I just write down the place, the year of the trip, and the page numbers where I can find the entries. For example, in my Japan travel journal, I wrote Kyushu 2023, pages 1 to 28, Hokkaido 2023, pages 29 to 57. And then under Hokkaido, I broke it down even further into cities like Sapporo, Otaru, Bay, Furano, and Noboribetsu, each with their corresponding page numbers. Having an index really works for me because it makes looking back so much easier. Instead of flipping through every page, I can instantly go to the section I need. It also gives me a sense of structure, almost like I'm building my own little travel archive that I can revisit anytime. That's the backbone of how I organize my journals. Now let's talk about why I stick to smaller notebooks, like using my passport size or pocket size notebooks, because for me it comes down to portability and ease of use. They are small, lightweight, and can easily slip into my bag. I don't like the feeling of carrying a bulky notebook when I'm traveling. It just feels like extra baggage. With a small notebook, I can quickly pull it out to jot down notes while waiting for food at a restaurant or a cafe or during flights. And there's also a psychological benefit. A smaller notebook feels less intimidating to fill up. Since the pages are compact, I don't feel pressure to write long entries. Even just a few lines or highlights of the day are enough. And before I know it, I've actually finished the whole notebook. That sense of completion keeps me motivated to continue journaling every trip. As for what I write in the next pages, I usually start with the place as the header, like in this case, Baguio, my most recent trip last month. Right below the header, I add the dates of the trip, like in this example, August 19 to 22, 2025. Then for each day, I create subheaders like Day 1, August 19, 2025. Under that, I'll add a little location icon and jot down the name of the places where I was at that moment. For example, Victory Liner Pasay. From there, I just do rapid logging similar to bullet journal. I keep it short and simple, just quick notes about what happened. For instance, I wrote here about arriving at the bus station at 6 a.m., the cost of the ticket, details about the bus ride, and even little things like the snacks that were given. I don't filter my words or worry about grammar. It's more important for me to capture the raw details of the trip, where I went, who I was with, what I ate, and what happened throughout the day. What I love about writing this way is that it's fast and practical. I usually jot things down whenever I find free time, like in a cafe or restaurant while waiting for food, back at the hotel in the evening, during flights, or if I'm tired at night, I'll write the next morning while everything is still fresh in my mind. Sometimes the next day even helps me remember more small details I would have missed if I forced myself to write while exhausted. And these little details, like the exact departure time of the bus or the terrible experience with the taxi driver I noted here, may seem small in the moment, but when I read them later, they instantly bring back to the trip. That's why I prefer rapid logging over polished entries. It's authentic, it's quick, and it captures the real experience as it happened. This also becomes super helpful when I return home and finally have the time to create my scrapbook journal of the same trip. Since I already have all the details written down, what we did, what we ate, the funny or even frustrating little moments, it's so much easier to transfer those memories into my scrapbook. I don't have to rely only on photos or souvenirs because the journal becomes my memory bank. And when I combine those notes with pictures or brochures, the scrapbook feels more complete and personal. Now you might be wondering, isn't it redundant to keep two journals for the same trip? For me, the answer is no, because they serve different purposes. My small travel journal is all about capturing things in the moment. It's quick, raw, and messy, but that's the point. It's my real time memory keeper. My scrapbook journal, on the other hand, is something I put together later with more intention. It's where I take my time, add photos, decorate, and reflect. In a way, the travel journal is the field notes and the scrapbook is the finished story. They complement each other, and having both makes the whole travel memory more complete. This system also allows me to travel light and not feel overwhelmed during the trip. If I try to do everything, decorating, adding photos, and collected bits of ephemera while I was still traveling, it would be more time consuming. Carrying just one small notebook and even a few pens keep things simple so I can focus on the actual experience of traveling. I don't feel pressured to make it pretty right away because I know I can do that later in the scrapbook journal once I'm home. On the road, I just need to capture the raw memories. I used to feel pressured to make my travel journals look perfect while still on the trip, but that just stressed me out. Switching to this minimal system made the process enjoyable again. This way, journaling enhances my trip instead of distracting me from it. Now let's talk about the supplies I brought with me during the trip and what actually worked. As you may have seen in my previous minimal travel journal videos, I usually keep things simple. For this trip, I brought with me a pen, usually black because it's clean and easy to read, but sometimes I switch to another color just for variety. I also carry a backup pen in case the ink suddenly dries out. Second, midliner or highlighters, around 2 to 3 colors. I use them consistently to highlight dates, place names, and little keywords. This makes flipping through my journal much easier because my eyes can quickly pick out the important details. Third, notepads tucked inside my traveler's notebook, handy for quick notes, lists, or reminders. Next is a sticker release booklet, where I store a few stickers for when I want to add a little decoration on the go, and an icon or an alphabet stencil, which I sometimes use to add small designs or neat headers. Next are pre-decorated pages. I often do this before a trip to add a layer of creativity so even simple entries look nice once I start writing on the go. But here's the reality. I notice after several trips, what I end up using most often is just a pen and the highlighters. This experience really confirms something for me that I don't need to carry a lot of fancy tools while traveling. A good pen and a couple of highlighters are enough to cover about 90% of what I actually do on the road. They are light, reliable, and they don't distract me from the main goal, which is capturing the trip while staying in the moment. Honestly, I didn't really find anything that didn't work for me. This minimalist setup feels just right, simple, functional, and lightweight. It gave me the freedom to focus on documenting the trip without feeling weighed down by too many supplies. That said, I like to bring along a few extras like stickers or washi samples, even if I don't use them every day. I enjoy having them with me because on those rare moments when I have downtime, it's fun to add a little creativity. So for future trips, I'll probably bring the same minimalist set, mostly pens and highlighters with a few creative options tucked in just in case. So did my minimalist travel journal setup work? Absolutely yes. I've learned that for me, writing comes first while traveling, and decoration can wait until I'm home. That balance lets me stay present while still capturing memories. So if you're building your own kit, my advice is start with the absolute basics. One pen, a few highlighters, and your notebook. Add extras only if you'll know you'll use them. Because at the end of the day, the best travel journal is the one you'll actually use. For me, keeping it simple made all the difference. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Do you tend to journal minimally while traveling? Or do you bring lots of supplies? What's been your experience? Share in the comments. I'd love to hear from you too. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out my travel journal playlist for more ideas and inspiration. Until next time, happy journaling and safe travels. Bye!